Hi guys, this is skittflash here, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3 FES. You guys really need to start reminding me not to actually record the exact same day I plan on uploading these Persona parts, because that is a practice I've been doing way too much, and it's kind of a more often than not me results in me just not recording, and therefore screwing me over. Because oh my gosh, I gotta upload all the Personas while I have the chance, right? Um, so anywho, today we're gonna be taking on this Tartarus mini boss, the one before the full moon. No, no, not at all. The one before the blockade, as usual. And so it's going to be very difficult, as you might have guessed. It's using Marakunda. I'm already scared. I switched. So my party member, this guy is a mainly physical attack user. He also resists, reflects, or blocks most types of physical attacks. So physical attacks sort of just don't do jack on this guy. And he's also blocks fire, and he's also a fire user. He has no affinity towards electric, ice, or wind, so make sure you bring people along of those natures. I'm going to use Madaraki Kadra to offset his defense down, which is actually kind of very, very funny, because then he'll just waste another turn to re-debuff us, so as long as he's wasting turns, I'm super fine with it. So Koromaru is here because I kind of have no one else to put in here. Koromaru is basically, I guess Ken would have been the better option, honestly. This boss uses fire attacks, so I figured, I'll bring Koromaru along because, he blocks fire attacks and therefore he'll be dying less. But the problem is, the boss also blocks fire, so Koromaru can't use his Agilao spells, and then also, other than that, he also, he also resists physical attacks, so Koromaru is not going to be using physical attacks, so basically Koromaru is just going to be there. If I was smart, I wouldn't have taken him off heal and support, and he could have just been using Tsukikadra. That's better than him waiting, because it's a stupid-ass partner AI that I just wish I could control at this point. I've been playing a lot of Digital Devil Saga. I'm pretty sure that came after Persona 3, but I don't know what they were thinking when they figured that you just shouldn't control your party members. I mean, yeah, I know I say all the time that yeah, it's manageable, and it really is manageable, but it'd just be so much better if you could control them. I'm pretty sure this came after Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which you can do it there, so I don't know what. So yeah, he blocks and he waits. That's kind of stupid. If anything, I feel like I almost screwed up because who knows? Maybe it's convincing Yukari that me diorama isn't needed when it's always needed. That's the main. This is probably the main complaint I have about the AI, is that if it were up to me, I'd just be using me diorama every single turn. It's much better than just singular diorama. It's just a waste of time. But anywho's, I'm gonna be sticking with the good old fashioned um, mind charge Zeodines, because that's just how you play, right? Now that we have mind charge, that's what we're gonna be doing all day, every day. And again, he has no affinity towards electric, ice, or wind, so make sure you bring people with those spells. Like, I should have brought Ken. I would have brought you, you'd think you could bring Mitsuru, but because this guy uses fire moves, that's just sort of something you don't want to do. I still don't have that weapon that makes her resistant to fire, not yet at least. So that's not a thing we can be doing. And he just used Mind Charge, meaning, oh no, I'm sorry, he just used Power Charge, meaning he's gearing up to do something spectacularly wicked. So I'm kind of scared. If you're up to me, yeah, what meets, what the hell's his name? Dionysus resists slash damage, so at least he won't be getting that killed. He'd probably die if it was anybody but Dionysus. Notice how everyone dies. That's not cool. But yeah, if I think if we had a persona that flat out nulled strike attacks, I don't think it's a strike attack. I think it's a slash attack. That'd be even better. But what is fantastic on its own is that the game decides to cut me some slack by making this guy paralyzed, which means I can get a critical hit on him, and I can use his down turn to bring everybody back, because oh my gosh, that just killed everybody. And I'm switching to Grimelka. I'm not sure why. I think in my head, I was thinking that he was null too. Well, he has high counter at least, so that's something. Or normal counter. He has 8 counter. But also, I just want to have a persona that resists physical attacks, and at the time of recording, I had no idea that Dionysus was actually resistant to flash damage, so that was silly of me. Deathbound is actually a move that has a very high critical hit chance, as you saw, like, the people who didn't die got critical hitted, or at least Minato did. And that's something we probably could have avoided, and now that everyone's out, as soon as we bring everyone back, they're just down for the count again. At least Minato missed that one, or Minato dodged that one, so that's fantastic. But yeah, as I was saying, Deathbound has a very high critical hit chance, so, the problem is we have items that can perfectly offset that, like items that resist the chance of getting critical hit, and we have skills for our personas that resist the chance of getting critical hitted, but honestly, and I kind of wanted, that was stupid of me. I wanted Akihiko to not heal everybody, so Yukari could just use me Diorama, because again, this is another example of me getting screwed because I just want the AI to be not stupid. But he also resists, this guy resists reflect strike damage, so don't hit him with any strike attacks, because that would suck. But yeah, as I was saying, we have items and skills that can resist critical hit chance, and that's probably what kind of strategy you want to use for this fight, because honestly, not getting critical hit would be probably the way to go for this fight and make everything so much more simple, and so much less deadly. On the bright side, I don't think he actually did it in that instance, but he usually does use power charge before he's about to, do something baller like that, so, he does give you a heads up at least, at the expense of doing 2.5 times more damage. That sucks. If I was smart, I'd keep Koromaru on support so he could use Sukakaja better than doing absolutely nothing. The problem there is I was dumb. Simple as that. I don't think Koromaru has counter yet either. I'm just gonna use a bead chain because God, I don't want to die. I don't think Koromaru has counter yet, but it would be nice to have because, as you saw right there, Minato just used a counter, and so the boss took a ton of damage because of that, and then Minato didn't take any damage, which makes things very, very fantastic. Probably saved my ass. Even though I found this boss, I had less trouble with this boss than I had with the those knights from last part. This guy still gave me more of a trouble. I mean, no, not really. I didn't die in this boss fight, and I died a ton of times for that other boss fight. But the battle certainly went smoother on the other boss fight. In this boss fight, everyone's just dying left and right. It's kind of ridiculous. But I might as well just stick with what am I sticking with? My Dionysus Mind Charge Zeodyne, because that is totally the way to go. Yeah, Mind Charge. Best thing ever. Love it. Love it so much. But yeah, Marukuna, it's been a while since he used that. At least there I can waste it. He wasted one of his turns that I could just offset with Rakukaja, which is always fun. Because you know how that works. But anyways, this is one of the longer boss fights, I must admit. I mean, it's a boss fight before a blockade, so what can you expect? It's just typically how things work. But yeah, do I sound quiet? Probably because I'm trying to record the day of actually uploading this part and people are home, so I just sound quiet. By default, it's kind of sad. It's one of the things I should really focus on not doing, but I end up doing it anyways. And thank God Yukari is using the actual me diorama, saving us hard. And he's almost dead, or he's soon to be dead anyways. Another Zeo, Minato does like 5 times more damage than Akihiko does, and it's kind of hilarious. Or if you want to be technical, he does nothing because he missed the mind charge attack, and you would not believe how much that pissed me off. And you would not believe how much hindsight me is yelling at this because why didn't I just set Koromaru to do something else? Or at least, at the very least, use a different boss fight. Ooh, yes, and he's knocked down again. I mean, he's that. I didn't even realize that I did this. But yes, gotta love... This is why I love, electrical attacks more than any other attack, because electrical attack is the only kind of thing that does paralysis. Everything else isn't really doing anything. Like, I mean, you can freeze enemies, but I honestly don't know what freezing even does in terms of status for, in this game at least. In Devil Survivor 1 and 2, it was actually frozen enemies that were always guaranteed to get a critical hit instead of paralyzed enemies, and paralyzed enemies are just more likely to miss. So in that game, freezing was the way to go. But in this game, like paralysis, like electrical attacks just have the edge over all the other elements. That seems to be just a common thing. I mean, like in the other games, like what fire and wind just kind of get the shaft. They don't really. There's no really interesting moves there. It'd be cool if they could like burn people or something. I know in Tales of Zillia at least, burn was like the best status element ever because it's just steady percentage-based damage like a poison. And poison is just fantastic. But bosses don't get poisoned in this game. That's just ludicrous. Um, and I'm showing myself climbing Tartarus just because I figure since I do seem to skip a ton of since I always fast forward the Tartarus exploration. I figure I just show it every now and then and show this guy getting wrecked because he's weak to strike damage and I have Deathbound. Do I have Deathbound? No, I have Heatwave. I want Deathbound though. It's a good spell. Once I have that, whew, that would be fantastic. Um, but other than that, what was I gonna say? Yeah, since I fast forward most of the Tartarus exploration, I figured I'd show these battles, remind you guys what mass destruction sounds like, and also show you guys the actual main theme to Tartarus. I don't know if I've explained this before, but every time you reach a new block of Tartarus, the actual dungeon theme changes very, very slightly. It's not that much different as it was in Floor 1, but like each time you get to a new block, they'll actually add a new kind of instrument. As you can see, there's kind of a beat that there wasn't, at the very first few floors of Tartarus. And we're at the end. Holy shit! This isn't just like a blockade. There aren't any stairs to climb up after this. That's kind of crazy. Are we really about to finish the game? Holy shit! Is this really the last shadow? Oh my gosh, we're at end game here, guys. Isn't that exciting? So exciting. So anyways, get that document, and then we'll turn it into Elizabeth. Or first, we actually have to accept the request from Elizabeth. And those 3 gold rings. Again, I think I mentioned this last part, but those were a bitch to get. I could not find a single one of those major. Obviously, I found 3, but I could not find a single one of those guys for the longest time, and it was kind of ridiculous. Luckily, I got a lot of grinding out of that, so that's cool, I guess. Got to grind with Mitsuru. I could have worded that better in a not lewd way. Um, you've finishing exploring Block 4 of Tartarus. More is yet to come? What are you talking about? That was the end. We got a summon out of that, so that's fantastic. And is that all we had to do for this part? Yes, it is. So that's all of Tartarus we're going to be doing for the rest of ever, obviously, because we're obviously done. Um, so let's just skedaddle. I'm going to save, because, holy crap, that was a lot of... you wouldn't believe, again, this was all off screen, but that was a ton of looking for those maguses, or maguses, not like I was ever good at pronouncing anyways. But yes, we are going back to the real world. I said the real world is as real as Persona 3 FES gets. You're no longer in great condition. How sad. We're not going to be really doing anything for the rest of ever. But we're going to be doing a Sunday. Okay, we're going to be cutting straight to hanging out with Nozomi because you're just over listening to random teacher talk about random thing that I'm just not going to pay attention to. So let's see what Nozomi's up to. He's about to get his ass kicked. Okay. I see. Oh no, these are cult joiners. Please, you could stop. They're gonna probably kick your ass. Okay, that's not good. Oh, I guess that's... again, every single time you hang out with him, you learn about kind of why he's in this kind of cult. Then we're through. Okay, that's not good. Again, this is why I was convinced that in the original Persona 3, I could have sworn you reversed the social link at a link of his. But I guess you don't in this game, unless you do manage to, like, not spend time with him ever. If that's even possible to reverse his social link, you can hang out with him, like, any day of ever. Yeah, and now he's in the back alley about to get his ass kicked. That's fantastic. Initiation fees. Giving up material wealth. I guess they are. That's kind of... Don't mess with his cult. How is it any different from him tricking your son? His son isn't about to get his ass handed to him, that's the difference. Not get scars. Is that how that works? You didn't say I was gonna die. Come back as an angel. Okay. You know, I wouldn't say that. And now Minato to the rescue. How's he gonna rescue us? Well, he'll he will rescue us. Minato will rescue him by doing, the absolute normal thing that Minato does all the time. First, but first, let me get a social link. What rank are we with him? 9, I believe, right? We're pretty high up in this guy's rank. Yeah, because we had a Dionysus with rank 8, so this guy is rank 9. So yeah, we have to hang out with him a few more times, but when we are close to ranking up with him, maxing out with him. And of course, yes, Minato's going to solve the problem by doing absolutely nothing. What Minato always does. Um, Alright, so that was that. And we even got a rank up before the end of this conversation. That's different, I suppose. But anywho's, so yes, that was that then.
Where have you been?
I've been hanging out with a fat guy. Um, so make sure you're prepared. Let's go get him. Yes, only one thing left. Does Koromaru want to walk today? I hope he does. Yes, he does. Ken can go. Okay. It was really tempting to go alone because, honestly, now, yeah, I kind of like. I really want to use. I never really exploit the Koromaru. I don't really want to say exploit. Why are you trying to keep up with a dog? Um, I never really get a chance to actually make full use of the Koromaru system because like sometimes you run into Social Link and get Social Link points with them for nighttime, and nighttime is it's throwawayable. It's totally not useless, but it's totally like not as important as daytime. So if you can actually get a chance to legitimately get Social Link points during the night, that'd be the best thing ever. I mean, I do it once, but I don't really do it with any other Social Link. And that'd be cool. The only problem is all the people that like run into me during the nights are people I've already maxed out their social links. So in a sense, I could have, benefited from not actually waiting so long, but at the same time, that's just silly. So anyways, we have a Sunday, and this is actually the first. No, probably not. No, Uh, but for once in, as this is unusual, but we have a Sunday without a date, so we can actually do the, hang out with a dying young boy, which is nice because we never get to hang out with him, and I almost feel bad. And we get to watch the Tanaka show, which is fantastic. I never really get a chance to do that ever. He's not really selling anything useful today. I don't even know what the RC Yeta is. Probably some shoes that aren't that good. But again, sometimes he'll sell like gifts for girls, like brand bags. And now that we're hanging out with Yukari, she only likes the brand stuff, so it'd be fantastic if I had some of that. Um, and yes, Akineri you walk right up to him and he just starts coughing like crazy, and you already know it's about to get depressing, especially with the music. Um, my cough is starting to settle down too. I've had that for a few months and I haven't been coughing as much. My voice feels raspy. I felt this the entire time I've been recording this video, but I think that's just the result of me trying to talk more quietly. Um, why is this only happening to me? It's like God hates you. That'd be a horrible response. The sad part is that you could say anything you wanted to this guy and he'd still rank up, and you'd still be able to rank up the next time too. You always rank up anytime you hang out with him, which is good because Sundays are very valuable. There's only so many of them. Um, but I just feel sad. I'm using a guide to say what the right answers is, even knowing it's useless because I just don't want to bum this guy out. He already has a really tough life. Just is kind of sad. Um, when I'm alone, it feels like it could end at any second. Yeah, it's just really sad. Try not to talk so much. Everything you just say is just depressing me to no ends. So, anywho's, what rank are we with him? Again, just like Tanaka will rank up every single time, so the rank, the rank up is a definitive amount of times we'll need to hang out with him more until we reach 10. So we have to hang out with him 7 more times. Okay, do we have 7 more Sundays in this world of Persona 3 FES? I mean, I know when the game ends, but I don't want to tell you when the game ends because that'd just be spoilerific. I mean, it's ending soon, obviously. Like, it's the last shadow. So, obviously, we kind of fucked up on this guy's social link because we don't have 7 more Sundays until the last shadow. Um, but anywho's, Koromaru wants to walk again. Awesome. Oh no, I said obviously. It's always a mystery whether or not Koromaru wants to walk with us. And we run into Keisuke. Useless. This is what I mean by useless. You won't get angry, will he? It'd be nice. I mean, really, the only people I'd like to hang out with, run into would be like Chihiro. I mean, you can't really run into Yukari and Mitsuru because they're at the dorms. You don't actually, I don't know why I said meet Siri, that's just a random thing. But anywho's, in the next part we'll be doing more social link stuff. But until then, this has been Skitflash. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Bye!